Getting fired from your job can be a real shock and can knock you off your feet completely. However, there are signs that can give you hints that you could potentially be fired. And if you pay attention to these signs ahead of time, you might be able to do something about it. Either to try to fix things at your current company or to start looking for another role. I'm Marat from EMMOTION, Human Resources Consulting Agency. I've worked in HR for over 10 years and I have seen many employees being hired and unfortunately fired. So I know exactly which are the steps of the employee journey map within the organization and how it is designed. Before we proceed further, I would like to remind you to subscribe to my channel so you could get all the fresh career content every week to continue your professional and personal growth. So how can you know if you are in danger of losing your job? These signs are an indication that you might have reached the end of your journey in your current company. First sign, and a very clear one for most of the employees being laid off, is when your boss does not like you. Love it or hate it, but the relationship with your manager is crucial for any position you will be working at. It is the first thing you are being hired for when your potential manager approves of your candidacy. And it is the first thing which influences on terminating your relationship with your company when the relationship with your boss goes wrong or becomes toxic. Maybe you used to get along, but now you can't seem to communicate even about the most basic issues. Your boss starts micromanaging you. You are being pressured and can even be reminded of how unqualified you are while managing certain tasks. Every little detail you do is on a watch list. If anything goes wrong, it is immediately being turned into a blame game, being blown out of proportion and thrown into your face as a lack in your performance. Your boss will also send you signals through their body language that they are not happy to see you and that you are not welcome in the department. The communication becomes mostly written, or your boss even tells other employees to tell you what they want. Don't wait for too long. It is definitely a time to start polishing your resume. Changes in the management team. Whether it's your direct manager or one of the top management roles within the company which is being replaced, sometimes new leaders are being put in place to make changes. This includes change in company staff. Keep in mind that each new manager would naturally want to bring their own team. However, first they will always reassure the teams that no changes are going to be done, that they are happy to lead the department the way it is. It is normal that new leaders would want to surround themselves with people they are more acquainted with, rather than inheriting the workers from the previous managers. Some bosses feel they can't be bothered building a relationship with those who were hired by their previous management. When the team changes a lot, you might even feel out of place yourself. New people are in, the priorities of the department and the company had changed. It's not exactly what you initially signed up for. Maybe it's time to prepare your exit if you feel this project isn't yours anymore. The company isn't doing well or it is being transformed. Depending on your role within the organization, you might have direct insight on the company's fortunes. If your company suffers a loss in sales, clients or cash, if it gets negative press or bad reputation caused by something linked to the company, all of this can translate into a reduction of staff a lot faster than you think. Sometimes your company doesn't need to be doing badly for big changes to happen. An acquisition or merge with another company could affect you just as much. Not every structure change will result in terminations, but many employers make a big effort in reassuring the employees that no changes are going to be made, just to keep them motivated. Once the structural transformation or budget cuts start, the changes in the team arrive shortly after. When you get removed from the projects, one day you are a key person in the project, the next day you are replaced with a very little explanation, or even worse, telling you exactly that you are not managing the project well. When an employer starts reassigning your work, this could very much be a sign that the department is preparing for your departure. Consider asking in a positive and constructive way for details and specifics. Sometimes this might clear up the situation a lot faster. You are asked to create a job description for your position, listing everything you usually do. If the company asks you to do this, it is usually to know exactly what you do. This way they can split your duties among the rest if required. It could also mean that you are being groomed for a more senior position, but you can usually tell which way the wind is blowing. If you suspect that your company is trying to replace you, you should be actively looking for a new job. You are put on a performance improvement plan. It doesn't happen in many companies. I wish it did. It is when the employees are given the chance to change and improve what is affecting their performance. It means the management cares and wants you to react. It's not an ideal scenario. It means that you are falling short and your boss needs to document this situation. It's not the end of the world if your manager is supportive, but it is definitely a red flag. You can always tell the difference between "we really want you to improve" and "we hope you get demoralized and quit." In any case, it's a good idea to start working on your exit strategy. Number 7 is when you are going to be fired immediately. It's when you can't access your company's email or network. Suddenly, your credentials to access your company's network are not working anymore. This means the IT department followed instructions to revoke all your accesses to company's data, your files, or remote accesses. And it happened before you have been informed about your departure. It's ridiculously unprofessional, but it is a practice which is still being done by many companies. This means there is no time for an exit strategy. You are being fired as soon as possible, and there is nothing to be done. Fridays are the days when most of the firing takes place. If you have experienced any of the signs mentioned above, my advice: freshen up your resume and start looking for a new job while you are still employed. If you eventually got fired, I'm not going to sugarcoat you. Getting fired is awful. But it's not the end of the world, and in the long run, it could actually do you well. This might be the chance for you to get out there and to find your dream role. I will discuss with you what to do if you get fired in the next video. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe for more career tips on professional and personal growth.